Yeah, what surprised you the most when you came here and saw the startup scene, and what's changed the most here in the couple of years that you started Slice?
So when I came here, you mean when I left Microsoft,
right, when
mothership, and the payment unit of society. I think what surprised me the most is the lack of support for entrepreneurs. I mean, entrepreneurship is fucking hard, right? And we should be cherishing entrepreneurs more. We should be supporting them more. And there was nothing really there. On the contrary, there was some vouchers. You know, like I got a lot of people that say, "Oh, I'm gonna help you raise money." You know, oh, awesome. You know, someone that wants to help me raise money. How awesome is that? Total bullshit, right? He was just preying on an unexperienced entrepreneur. Hopefully, it didn't fall for those kind of things, but it happens. We need more support for entrepreneurs. That's the thing that surprised me. There wasn't. Still, I think it's light. We could do more.
So you mentioned more early stage investors, but you also mentioned more doers, less talkers. Those seem to be kind of, I wouldn't say contradicting, but I would say if there are more talkers and less doers, maybe people making less investments, do you think it's that we need more investors, that we need more doers? Obviously we need both, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Do you think that it's...
I think there's absolutely no correlation between those two things, so I have to disagree with the premise of the question. I think the problem with early stage investors is there was enough people, I bet there was enough people in this room who have a startup ready to go, and you know, if they had a little bit of money, they could get a lot more done. I mean, usually developers lack designing skills, so you know, if they had a couple $1,000s, they could get a designer and do something better user experience, or you know, a better logo for themselves, or having some money for advertising on Facebook or Google to launch their startup. That's the thing that early investors need to do. The thing about doers and talkers is there's a lot of people who sit on the sidelines and just suggest things. They really don't participate much, right? They're just talking about it. So if you're gonna do a startup, go do a startup. Right? Don't talk about ideas. Right? That's a fake startup. Actually, I'm surprised when people say, my startup failed. Like, what startup are you talking about? Oh, I had this idea, and I wrote a spec, and I couldn't get anyone to build it. I was like, fuck, you didn't have a startup. You had a piece of paper. And it's surprising that people say things like that. That's ridiculous, right? So, go do a startup, and then talk about it.
Oh, so I'm just curious, what you say, get more early stage investors. I'm completely with you. I think every early stage investor in town is inundated with pitches and people who want funding, and it's not nearly enough to go around. How do we get more early stage investors? What is a process by which people who don't have money necessarily, people who are in this room right now, can encourage more early stage investing? How does that happen?
Can I steal a response from Rebecca?
Steal.
And I can't remember when was it, but Rebecca said we lack lead investors in Seattle, and lead investors is that guy that's going to go with your startup and negotiate the deal, set the terms, and say, I'm investing the first $25,000, because once that guy goes and do that, there's a lot of investors that come and trust him, or say, okay, someone that is not the founder or not the founder's father is putting money into the company, so I'm going to trust that. So we have a lack of lead investors in town. Actually, there's probably 5 lead investors in Seattle. If you don't get one of those, you're fucked, right? So you better get one of those people. And Jeff Andrews and Rosen, you know, there's a few more there. So we need that. But I also think there is a problem of education. There's a lot of people who have money in Seattle, and they don't put that money to work because they don't know about the opportunities or what they could be doing. Particularly ex-Microsofters. Microsoft doesn't have a culture of investment, and there is so many, you know, billionaires and multimillionaires at Microsoft that could be doing that if they were taught how to. So the Alliance of Angel does some good work educating them, but not enough outreach there.
Sure, yeah. What
what do you think sort of the correlation to not having those lead investors is to our sort of entrepreneurial environment here? Like, what is it that causes it to be that way? Is it Microsoft that has some sort of influence on that? Why don't we have those leaders, those people stepping out and getting excited about startups?
I don't know.
Is it just because it rains too much? Like, are we
I really don't know. I don't know why we don't have more. I mean, being a lead investor is quite a bit of work. So, and they are limited by how many investments they can do a year. So, you know, if we have 5 or 6 lead investors in Seattle, and each one of those are doing, you know, 5 to 10 deals a year, you can see there's only 25 to 50 startups that are going to get their money. And there's a lot more startups being founded, you know, every week in Seattle that probably don't fit that role. Okay, there was a question here. Red.
There are a lot of events like this in Seattle, but I find a lot of people walking away with nothing more than a conversation. If you could give everyone here just one tip, what is that one thing that we should set as a goal for tonight and walk away with? What would you tell us that one thing should be?
I think the one thing should be pick a startup or that you like and support them, blog about them, tweet about them. Actually, that's one thing that's kind of really missing is like more people blogging about startups. I'm not saying news blogging, like just blogging as in, damn it, I found about this startup and I love it and you know I want all my friends to know about it. Just do that for one startup here in Seattle and it's going to be gold.
I think
so. I have maybe a perspective on how where to find more investment. In the late 90s, I had a friend whose band got a record, and I got to sort of witness from the sidelines sort of how that played out. And I was at the Crocodile Cafe. They just played a show, and that one night, like, they did like 2 or 3 deals, basically. They were like, okay, you know, I'm going to help you record your demo disc, like I'm going to pay for that, and I'm going to help you, you know, I'll do like side vocals for your project to lend it some cachet. So like support each other is, you know, the heart of it. If you've got money or skills or whatever, you know, maybe you've sold something for a modest amount of money, put some of that into someone else. Play it forward, make the economy, you know, create an economy rather than just sort of sitting clutching your money. So that's
right.
Just
And
perspective.
there is actually an expression for that. It's called recycle capital.
Yeah.
And this is what we are lacking here in Seattle. And I talked to Rand about this. The problem is we didn't have enough exits.
Yeah.
5 years ago to keep this capital recycling. Now we had some exits, you know, we had Ben Shapiro, John Esposado, T. McCann, all 7 days startups, and they are all doing investment right now, so that's a good thing. We just need more of that. And again, 5 people are not going to change it. You know, we need dozens and dozens of new investors in Seattle to really make it.
You need dozens, but you can do that. You can add up to a dozen one at a time. You know, it's,
And we're in the process.
yeah,
So the
I'm
question
just
is
saying-
not if it's going to get there or
Don't
not.
be daunted, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, you may need 24 or 48, but that can happen one at a time.
Yeah. And I'm just a spokesperson. Like
Yeah, no,
I don't own. I'm
think
not
it's
voted a
good, yeah.
representative of any investors of Judge stuff or anything. Just the things that I observe,
Yeah.
I'm telling, and I hope people go and, you know, back their friends who have money to like put your money to work. You know, invest in 5 startups. Yeah. More questions?
Just a quick comment, and thank you for the accurate quote. I actually do believe that if we could cultivate more lead investors, others would follow. No offense to any angels in the room, but a lot of them are kind of lemmings. You know, that's why seed funds work. When you can throw in with people who have a good track record, that's where more deals start to get done. But if there were one thing that people could take away from this, there's not some kind of magical black box between quitting your day job and getting money, even if it were there. And you know, when I hear people say, you know, I can't bootstrap my startup, so I'm going to get investment, The best startups bootstrap, and that's why they get investment. There's so much that you can do between quitting your day job and talking to John Cook or pitching to an angel group or pitching to a Jeff Andrus to try to get money. And a lot of it, and what sometimes is missing, is you fall in love with your idea and you think it's the best thing in the world, but if you haven't talked to a single potential customer, if there's nobody who's willing and able to pay for it, you have a science experiment or an idea, or not a fucking startup, as Marcelo says. So get out there, and before you quit the day job, fund yourself through your employer. And if you can, quietly making sure you separate your work product from your startup, from your day job, talk to customers, make sure there is a market out there. And then and only then do you have a startup or a business. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to that and say, my first startup, we raised $1.5 million from angels. As soon as my startup shut down, like the day that we announced, on a Friday, 3 p.m., like you're supposed to do, as soon as it shut down, I got a call from 3 of my investors who want to invest on me again, literally. And the reason they said that, or the observation from that is like, they look at me and say like, oh, Marcelo can do this things, right? He's not going to talk about a startup and write up a paper about this startup. He's going to build this startup. So, if you're ever thinking about an angel investor or any kind of investor, you have to show that you can do it. Like they want to know you're the person that they're going to give you the money, and you're not going to hire a third party to do it for you. You're going to be the person that does it, or has the team that does it. Right? I think there was one more question.
Last question.
In the past, from some of your comments and messages, you've been a big proponent of copying something that works, tweaking it slightly, and doing that rather than trying to do this new revolutionary thing as a way of mitigating risk, as a way of having a small success first. What are your thoughts on that now?
That's an awesome observation. You really did. Yes. I'm a big proponent of copying. Like, if you're going to do a word processor, just copy whatever Word did. If you're going to do an e-commerce, copy what Amazon did. I'm building a social health startup right now. I mean, I'm copying Facebook right and left just because like users are used to dead system of doing things. So I don't want users to learn something new. So if there is a like on Facebook, there's going to be a like on every move. If there is comments on status updates, there's going to be comments on status updates. Like I'm inventing new things where it's important for me, but everything else I'm copying from people that were successful before me. I don't think you need to invent much, actually. You just can glue new things, existing things together to create a new thing. That's what creativity is about. All right?